And welcome to another exciting episode of the KLIQ Nation's Comic Book Chronicles. I'm your host, Tim D-O-double-G. And we're joined by the man running the @NewsNerdsNeed Twitter account, @RoddyCat.
Hail Hydra!
And the man running the sound effects is @Agent_70.
What up, what up?
And we're without Dirt tonight, who has other obligations, but we want to make sure to let you know to check his website out. It's popculturenetwork.com. And we can be found at our website, thekliqnation.com. We can find previous episodes of the Comic Book Chronicles and comic book reviews. Follow the Twitter account @thekliqnation. Like the Facebook fan page, facebook.com/thekliqnation. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/thekliqnation. Circle us on Google+. Subscribe on iTunes and Stitcher Radio. Just search for The KLIQ Nation. And make sure to give us 5-star reviews so we move up the power rankings. And if you ever have any feedback you want to have read on a future show, send that on over to thekliqnation@gmail.com. And we want to remind everyone that we record live every Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you're ever on thekliqnation.com during that time, or you're at home and you're not doing anything and you just want to have us on as background noise, just make sure to tune in.
There you go. And don't forget hashtag Comic Book Chronicles if you want to catch us on Twitter.
Yes, hashtag Comic Book Chronicles, and you may have your tweets read on the show live. As a matter of fact, guaranteed to have them read on the show as long as it's not negative. Because we will ignore it. All right, so a couple nice news items this week. Oh, and actually something added that I didn't see. Okay, that's cool. We'll get to that later. But up first, a comic that holds, I guess, a dear place in everyone's hearts and minds that has been teased for years.
Years!
Has finally gotten a release date.
Finally!
That would be Grant Morrison's MULTIVERSITY from DC Comics.
Okay,
So,
where does this
No,
go?
wait a second. There you go.
yes.
That was my reaction when I heard this news. I was like, what?
Okay, so I'm not the only one.
No, no, you're far from the only one.
Because I had posed a question to Twitter, because I was like, I've heard the project it has been in the works for the longest. I just want to see what the hype over it is, and part of it is my Marvel fandom over DC fandom. But I always say I always give the nod to like alternate futures over alternate universes.
Sure.
Okay.
That just seeing an alternate version of another universe, that's okay, I guess. It has, done right, it can be well, but like alternate futures and past and stuff like that, that's always intrigued me more, probably because it's more of a Marvel thing
Right.
than the DC thing. So yeah, and then it's supposedly this was in the works before the New 52, right? If I understand it correctly.
If I recall correctly, yeah, long before.
So how does it work now with the? I guess maybe that's the reason it's taken so long is they decided to integrate it with the New 52. So it's gonna deal with the 52 alternate universes of the DC universe.
Oh, Lord.
But at least from the description I read, they're not even dealing with all 52 universes. It's like a select number they're doing.
Lord. Like, I'm just rolling my eyes behind the sunglasses.
Yeah, it's
You know
like,
what I'm saying?
I kind of wonder if this is why DC kind of gets at least for me, get the flack from like their seems like seemingly bi-yearly compresses and expansions of their multiverses. It was like, wait, wasn't New 52 supposed to compress universes? Then you start hearing about Earth 2 and Earth 1 coming back,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
all these crises that they were having back in the day.
Yeah, same thing. I like the New 52, and then the Earth, Earth 2 has a book, and well, two books that, and the World's Finest, I guess, relate to Earth 2. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. Now there's I thought I thought the whole point of New 52 was to make things less complicated, and now they've gone all into all the different Earths.
They threw that particular plan under the bus a long time ago.
Yeah.
New 52 got real complicated fairly quickly into its run. Other than Batman, it got really complicated very quickly in most titles.
Right, especially when especially what you were talking about, Tim, with World's Finest, because World's Finest, if I'm not mistaken, came over to basically the New 52, and then like Mr. Terrific went over to Earth 2. So they as soon as they did that kind of stuff, it was like, all right, clearly this was gonna branch out at some point and get killed.
Right.
Because they said it wasn't supposed to farther north, wasn't even supposed to be any kind of crossover between the worlds.
Like the promo image for the announcement of when, and I think they said this multiversity is supposed to come out in, is it the fall or the summer?
August
2014.
Yeah,
August this year.
And the promo image is of a black Superman. So it's like, oh, now we can tell stories with alternate race characters being our
Seriously,
heroes.
listen to this. I'm reading from the Newsarama article. Prepare to meet the Vampire Justice League of Earth 43, the Justice Riders of Earth 18, Super Demon, Doc Fate, the Super Sons of Superman and Batman, the Rampaging. Hold on, now let me get down to the break. The Rampaging. Who the hell is Rampaging? Retaliators of Earth 8, the Atomic Knights of Justice, Dino Cop, Sister. Oh, stop! I can't even keep going. I can't.
Yeah,
can't.
None of that sounds interesting to me.
Oh Lord.
Well, you know what? And here's the thing: somebody told Grant Morrison to go nuts, which, if I'm not mistaken, is what he does pretty well. So that may have some interesting things going on with it. But outside of that, it's like, yeah, they totally went crazy.
Jesus Christ.
So that's the multiversity announcement.
Woohoo.
Yeah, seriously.
More DC news. WGN America is adapting the DC comic Scalped, which was a Jason Aaron comic, I believe. And it was a Vertigo book.
Oh, it was a Vertigo book. All right.
Yes. So, again, more comics coming to TV media.
Yeah. It will not stop, folks, so it's just going to continue.
And supposedly, at least from the article I read, which the link I saved is from the Hollywood Reporter. Supposedly, I guess Scalped is one of those fan favorite, everyone must read this books.
Okay.
So there's that.
Yeah, I'm just since none of us have read it, we really don't have much to say.
Yeah. If I remember, if I see ads for it to remind me it's coming out, I'll try to check it out.
Right.
So I guess it must be coming up for whatever month July solicits, I think it is, because you have news being broken for a new series, one involving a certain former sidekick who, at least in the last issue of Forever Evil, which would have been 5 months ago with the way the schedule was going, he seems to meet his doom, his fate.
Right.
That is Nightwing, aka Dick Grayson.
Right.
But
so now
apparently
he lives. Shield.
Yeah, apparently he lives. He's an agent of something.
He's an agent of Shield.
Pretty much.
So
he's actually a Winter Soldier if you're looking at it. Because I saw the picture and it was like, wait, what? So he's just pretty much. No, well, yeah, he's pretty much Winter Soldier. It was like, wait, what? How is he hiding? He dyed his hair, but what else is he hiding?
That is funny.
But so Nightwing is being canceled, but in its place we will get the comic Grayson.
Mercy, mercy, mercy.
where after Forever Evil, Batman convinces Nightwing to let the world believe he's dead, including the other members of the Bat family. He goes off to work for some like super spy agency that Grant Morrison created
Shield.
in Batman Incorporated. It's Shield, but whatever this Spiral or what Spider.
How many more acronyms are there in the DC universe for these? Aren't there other ones? Like
Yeah, because it isn't like doesn't Frankenstein work for Shade?
Yeah, Argus and Shade. And, listen, Marvel's got a whole bunch of its own acronyms, but you know. That's.
But I was gonna say, what was I gonna say? I forget now.
We're all thrown off by the Winter Soldier, aka Dick Grayson.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say, Argus. I was gonna say Argus is really the equivalent of Shield in the DC universe.
Right.
Right. So how long until Barbara finds out?
Well, she's not Oracle anymore, so they're gonna keep
After a
her
year,
for a long time.
like by issue 12.
Yeah.
But I actually like this term for Nightwing or Dick Grayson. I think it has potential.
Well, I guess it is different for him.
Yeah, I mean, if he starts killing people, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, he's not gonna kill, of course. I know, and of course the writing team is Tim Seeley and a guy who did like counterterrorism stuff after 9/11.
That I thought was pretty intriguing. That
Yeah,
is
that
an
has
actual
potential.
intelligence operative writing
Yeah.
some of these stories. That's actually kind of cool.
Oh, and another cool thing is the artist attached, Michael Janin,
Mm-hmm.
the former artist on Justice League Dark.
Okay.
So
All
I
right.
think it comes out in July. So
Well,
check it
hopefully
out.
we'll get. Yeah, I was gonna say hopefully we'll all read it and we'll have a chance to talk about it.
And maybe he'll have glasses because that's how DC hides their people.
Ah, that's funny.
And in more Robin and Sidekick news, the title Batman N will get the Robin back in its name later in the year, along with a one-shot called Robin Rises Omega, where supposedly a Robin will return.
Oh my god! You gotta be kidding me! Robin Rises Omega. Really? Can you get more melodramatic, people?
Yeah.
But supposedly it's been building to this since the new 52 #1 Batman and Robin.
Right.
Mm.
So I haven't really been
Listen
paying.
to us all be skeptical, right?
I haven't really paid much attention to the whole Batman and series, except for like issue here and there.
Mm-hmm. Same.
But I know it involves, Ra's al Ghul and the bodies of Talia and Damian being stolen. I didn't even know Talia was dead, so that's how much I knew about the storyline. And apparently it has something to do with a shard from Apocalypse and Dark Side. So, fellow friend of the podcast, Awesome Comics, will be publishing Brian Bucellato's Foster.
Okay.
Yes. Congrats to them guys. To those guys.
Play some happy. There we go. Play the applause music.
Mm.
Actually, I'm waiting for the link to open. Oh wow, they made the Hollywood Reporter.
That's Seek. Yeah, Seek tweeted it out a couple of days ago, and Omar did, I think, a couple of places also. So, congrats,
Nice.
guys.
Good job.
Try to have them back on the show.
That and this. There you go.
So that's dope.
Indeed.
I'll read that article after the show. And finally, the 2014 Eisner Award nominees were announced. Image leads strong showings from Dark Horse and Vertigo also. I actually said I have the link, another link saved of like all the nominees and stuff. So I'm actually going to try to go through and pick some of the books on the list and try to read them.
Yeah, some of them are not that surprising, but
yeah, it's a lot of the same.
What, the usual suspects?
Yeah, the usual
kinda.
suspects.
Yeah, Yeah,
But
but it's just people that you know it is deserved. It seemed like in a couple of places. So
there a couple of comments which were mentioned on our show were made the list. The Hip Hop Family Tree,
yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah, that's right.
and an issue for best single issue was an issue of Watson and Holmes, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
I have the trade of that. I need to read it.
Yeah. Hawkeye was in there, which
Yeah.
woohoo. Matter of fact, what's the funny thing about that was like fractions all up in there, particularly in one.
Yeah, Fraction. Yeah, the KLIQ Fraction combo
Mm-hmm.
are well represented.
Like even in one category, it's like there's a couple of books. It's like you competing against each other, competing against yourself there.
Yeah, right. It must make for a fascinating dinner time conversation, right? I hope you win. I hope you win.
Well, I don't think they're in a category together,
Oh, okay.
Actually,
or maybe they are. I don't know.
I think they are. Let's see. Yeah, 'cause they're in Best Writer category together.
Oh,
There you
It sounds
go.
like on the Bleeding Cool article has them together.
okay. Yeah, I'm looking at the Comic Alliance one, but
I'm assuming it's the same list.
Yeah, it's gotta be the same
oh
one.
yeah, it is. You're right. Best writer there.
Yeah, you gotta keep scrolling down.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
scrolling up on mine. So yeah, so a lot of maybe need to make sure I put a list, put a link up to the nominees so people can go read it. Maybe find some new books that you'll
Sure.
enjoy and give a shot.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Arrow and Agents of Shield were both new this week. I didn't see
Yes.
Arrow yet.
Okay.
Shield seemed to be people seem to enjoy this week's Shield. They moved it from 8 to 9.
Right, and
Yeah,
then they
like
showed
that was a
last
big
week's
deal.
episode at 8.
Well, yeah,
Actually,
they showed two of them, right?
Yeah, they showed last week's episode at 8 o'clock. You know, just so that people can get caught up. Because remember last week we were talking about the ratings for the show not catching any boost from Cap the Winter Soldier movie, and I think they kind of picked up on that, and they replayed last week's episode, which is kind of flows out of the events of the Winter Soldier, and the episode scheduled for this week had even more of a crossover effect. So I think it was wise of them to replay the first last week's episode and then play this week's episode and kind of show them back to back and give people a chance to catch up. And
Right.
there's a lot afoot. There's a lot going on in the show. I think if you've been kind of putting off, watching, I don't think you really even had to watch all that much to get caught up. You can catch up right away watching these 2 episodes.
Yeah. And I am not caught up on either show, so that's in the process. I'll be doing that while I'm off.
Oh well, I was about to say I don't know how far back you are, so maybe I'll take back part of my statement. Because if you have a general idea what's going on, then you don't have to necessarily pick up some of the what I call filler episodes. Where
Right.
they kind of fill in. They're just like kind of throwing out a villain and slowly developing the characters.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm probably about 5 or 6 back, and it's just me thinking I probably could just go ahead and jump into these 2, but I still haven't seen Winter Soldier yet either. So
someone's gonna have to put us on mute if we talk about it.
Nah, just go ahead.
I didn't even put down the docket for tonight because for one, Dirt wasn't gonna be here, and I figured no one else has seen it yet. So
I want to talk about it. I've
Go
seen it
ahead.
twice
Go
already.
ahead. I say go ahead. Rip that bandage off.
Nope.
I have
we're gonna wait till you see it.
Yeah, we'll wait.
We'll wait till
I've
next
seen it
week.
twice
You'll
already.
be working
Well-
next week, so you won't be able to watch live.
That's fine. And by that time, I probably will have seen it if I was going to. So
Right.
So,
Right. I'm itching to talk about it. That's the thing. I mean, I've talked about it, amongst friends, but it's different talking about it on the podcast.
right.
I'm sitting here watching the Detroit Pistons 30 for 30 on in the background.
Oh,
Yeah,
I kind of wish
but
I
I'm seeing the
were
buzz.
recording it.
Don't they have it on the site?
Hmm.
Don't they have it on the site afterwards or something?
on ESPN? I don't think so.
I was looking at the guide to see if I figured they'd do a replay later tonight, but
Well, they'll play it on one of the ESPN channels, maybe.
yeah, maybe they will.
Mhm.
It's not on. Check ESPN2 because they're not showing it later on ESPN.
Listen, I'm missing playoff hockey for this. I'm missing playoff hockey.
Oh yeah, that has started, hasn't it? And NBA starts Saturday.
Sports.
Yeah. I was about to say, I'm like, oh, Roddy's like dirt.
Yeah,
Like sports. They're talking about it. Why are they bringing it up? It's a comic book podcast.
That's all. Nah, it's all good. It's just hey.
That's fun.
So yeah, back to the comics before we lose the rest of our viewers.
What, all three of them? Come on, man.
Yeah, right?
0 right at the moment.
Oh, damn.
Oh, hell yeah! Hells yeah! Let's go Rangers! Sorry.
We don't care. We don't do it for the viewers.
Hey.
Oh,
Hells yeah! Let's go Rangers!
Who they playing?
The Philly. Not the Phillies. The Philadelphia Flyers. First round of the playoffs, baby. You gotta love it, man. You can tell who's from the Northeast, right?
All right, so what books do we want to start reviewing first?
All right, what did everyone read? Let's do with that, and then we'll like do like a quick hit through like all the books that maybe only one or two of us read.
I was about to say, I'm almost certain. Well, okay. I was almost certain I didn't read anything anybody else did, but that's not true.
Let me look at this list.
How about
Well, how about just Superior Spidey number 31? Let's just get that out of the way. If because I know Tim read it.
Go for it.
Oh yeah. Even though Dirt's not here, he did provide me a link with his
review. Yeah.
Yes. So I will read his review of Superior Spider-Man number 31 because I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I kind of agreed with it too. Not wholeheartedly, but I definitely agree with a lot of his points.
And actually, I won't read the entire thing because it's like a paragraph, but
hit the highlights.
Let's see. When Doc Ock finally beat Spider-Man and took over the mind of Peter Parker, I was impressed that Marvel had the guts to do something new. Now, almost 2 years later, Marvel has to reverse course and change everything back just in time for the new movie premiere. While obviously needed to be done, the way in which Dan Slott wrapped everything up feels hollow, rushed, and unsatisfying. Definitely. I just felt like there was nothing. It was anticlimactic, is what I tweeted out. Everything was anticlimactic. The reveal of the Green Goblin was anticlimactic.
It was mostly lame. It was kind of like, yeah. You know what's funny is that it didn't kind of remind you of the last page in last month's Silver Surfer, the first issue. It's like, who is this? I don't know who this is. Remember?
Yeah, that's it was almost word for word like the Zayman said.
And I was like, Slot, seriously, you reuse this?
Oh yeah, he book. Yeah.
Are you just now getting this?
Yeah, I didn't. That didn't click in my mind before.
Right. So I was kind of put off by that, where spoiler alert, I just literally spoiled what happened. But I was very disappointed that that's how he tried to play it. I was, I can't believe they were already. It was weird that they were already kind of doing an aftermath story in this book too. They're basically, he was basically trying to put
everything up for later.
Exactly, trying to put all the pieces back together again as best as he could, so that he could set up Amazing Spidey number 1. So that could be like a fresh jumping off point.
Yeah, I mean, I understand having to set up the new jumping on point, but come on.
I just thought it was not pulled off very well. I was not happy with the execution. So, I definitely could sympathize with Dirt's feelings on that. As happy as I am to see the one true Spider-Man Peter Parker back, I just didn't like the way it was finally executed in this issue.
That's disappointing. That's kind of been the buzz I've been hearing around it, it's particularly with this issue and last issue, I should say, starting off with that it seemed like it was kind of losing steam.
Well, I thought last issue, if he'd been able to kind of meld last issue and this issue together, I think it would have come off as a better book. You know, and kind of cut out some of the in between, things. I think it would have been a better story. I think it would have come off a lot better. What do you think, Tim?
Say it one more time.
Making it like a double-sized issue.
Oh
That
yeah.
issue,
Well,
like
like I said, it was
the
double
issue
sized.
before this. No, but
but-
the issue or triple-sized then. Like the issue before this, like issue number 30 and issue number 31. If he had just combined them into one, spectacular-sized issue 30, I think this would have read a lot better.
I guess so, but like I didn't have a problem with how 30 ended, setting up 31, but everything just ended so neatly.
I guess.
And then I guess whatever they're setting up with the Osborns
Yeah.
family tree.
Yep. Little Normie. Yeah, because they wanted to sort of look like the movie.
Yeah.
Sort of. It's going to resemble the movie. It's not going to be exactly the same. So.
All right, so that's Superior Spider-Man number 31. I'm sorry.
31.
Who read some DC books?
I read Batman number 30, and literally, I literally just read it like on my way home, so I can actually grab it out of my bag. I actually picked up a physical copy the other day, yesterday, because I was coming out of watching Captain America for the second time. I was like, ooh, Batman 30, Let's see if I can't grab it. Where is my copy? Here we go. Oh, and by the way, I picked up one of the alternate covers for Superior 31. I think this is J. Scott Campbell.
Oh,
You
yeah.
see that? One of the alternate covers for Superior Spider-Man number 31. So,
Nice.
right. So I picked this up. They had it at Forbidden Planet, and I picked up Batman number 30. And I read this today on my way home, and what it does is it takes us from where we last saw Bruce Wayne basically being defeated by the Riddler, and it's a flash forward story where we come where we find Bruce Wayne when he comes to months after his defeat at the hands of the Riddler, and he's been rescued by a neighborhood kid, and basically he gets up to speed and finds out that the Riddler has taken over Gotham. It's very reminiscent of The Dark Knight Rises, unfortunately, where like every road and path into and out of Gotham has been tampered with or has been booby trapped, by the Riddler. Much the same way that Bane and Talia al Ghul did it in Dark Knight Rises. But ultimately, what we have in this book is Batman and Jim Gordon kind of coming together and really, kind of reuniting while we see the effects of the Riddler's control over Gotham. It's called Zero Year because the Riddler is basically saying, all right, we're starting from scratch. We're starting with a blank slate. So that's really the origin of the term, Zero Year. So if anyone's been wondering what they meant by that, that's what it is. And this issue, while good, really serves as just a setup for a storyline that's called, I'll tell you in a hot second, Savage City. This is actually Savage City Part 1. So
Everything in Zero Year has felt like a build-up to something.
Right, and basically it's just just another building block, another stepping stone in the story. Snyder, I give Snyder credit. He's definitely telling a good long-form story. I think Capullo really sells it. If it wasn't for Capullo's art, I don't know, and his layouts especially, I don't know if I would be willing to read this in this long form. It seems like it's taking forever.
Eventually it'll end. It'll end by the time Forever Evil ends.
Well, they did say it was Forever Evil, right?
Which is, I think that's the reason, besides giving Greg Capullo more time to write whatever issue he was writing, I think that's another reason they threw that extra issue of the future in there so they can have it the end coincide when it went with Forever Evil ending.
Yeah. Listen, I give Capullo a lot of credit. I think the art really sings on, in this book. It really does make it worth kind of slogging through Scott Snyder's long form story. So, I give him a lot of credit. Next time I see him, hopefully he'll be at one of the New York cons. I'll tell him, look, he's really made Batman. I told him this already when I last saw him a couple years back, that he's really made Batman a book to read. His work on it is exemplary.
Nice.
All right, let me, because I don't have much to discuss today. Actually, how was Hulk #1?
Oh, I was gonna get to that in the quick hits. Our quick clicks, right? Our quick clicks. Yeah, I say that 5 times fast, right? Quick clicks, quick clicks. So Hulk #1 is literally is very much just a straight continuation of where the last volume of Hulk left off, and there's a twist at the end, and the story is kind of told from the perspective of a third party, a kind of a disinterested third party, and there's groundwork for I don't know if it's Hydra sticking their nose into Hulk business, because obviously Hulk has been in SHIELD business for the last volume, right? So I don't know if Hydra is kind of rearing, every pun intended, right, rearing 1 or 2 or 4 of its heads in in the Hulk book. So, but there's definitely some shadow presence in the book. Don't read it as a straight #1. I think it's literally just another volume of Incredible Hulk, and it's just a continuation of the story. So, if you had been reading Hulk up until now, it reads just like that. I don't know if it's that friendly for new readers. I don't think it's that friendly for someone who's just jumping onto the book and never read an Incredible Hulk book at all.
Right.
So, I don't know if it gets points for that, but I think that it's definitely it's a strong continuation of the story.
Okay.
Right.
And the art obviously was nice.
Yeah, it was definitely attractive. I don't who's the artist on that? I definitely recall, liking the art. So let me see if I can pull that up.
I will say that my brother Adam Black got me a nice gift for my birthday that I got to open early.
What's that?
I guess like the New Warriors Omnibus.
Nice.
Nice.
Has which he got Mark Bagley to sign.
Nice.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
I'm assuming he got it done at the little small Macon comic book convention we went to like a month or so ago.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool.
All right. I read Miss Marvel #3.
I read that. We can talk about that.
It was fun.
I'm liking it.
Yeah, I'm liking the slow build. We're getting to get to know her and how she's learning to deal with her powers.
And they're definitely playing the culture card pretty well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But they're not like shoving it down. They're not shoving it down your throat either.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
well,
that was going to be a big part of the book when they announced it. So that makes some sense.
Right. I definitely appreciate that they're taking their time, kind of introducing people to the culture in very small spurts. So, I listen. If speaking of like reader-friendly books, for like new readers, I definitely have this book on my list as something to introduce people to.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see that, definitely.
Yeah, I like this. I like this issue, and I like where this book is going. So, obviously, these young superhero origin stories are, we've seen them all before, and each one is going to have real, just subtle variants or variations to it to make it unique. But we kind of know some of the familiar story beats. So that stuff is there, but at the same time, I like the way it's being told. I like the execution of the story and the art. Alfona is killing it. He was really good at this like young person stuff. Like young adult teenager stuff. From the Runaways. So, it's perfect for this book. Like I said, like coming out of Captain America and going to Forbidden Planet last night, I picked up Ms. Marvel. I said, hey, this is a book I think you guys should be reading to some buddies.
Spread the word. Good deal. Good deal.
Yeah. Hopefully, I have a feeling even if the sales aren't where Marvel would like them to be, they'll keep the series going.
I would hope so.
At least, they'll probably give it a shot. I don't know. Yeah, they'll probably keep it for a while. That's a good call.
I mean, the Captain Marvel numbers aren't great either, but they keep
yeah,
going.
but I'm not even sure what's going on with this new book, because I heard somewhere where that one's like a limited series, or maybe that was an arc that somebody thought it was a limited series. So I don't know if that's the case or not. But
I think it's an ongoing. I think she's going to get a boost the second she shows up in Guardians.
Right.
Put her in a Young Avengers book. They got Nova and New Warriors.
Who, Kamala? That's probably going to happen.
Yeah, that is probably going to happen.
I was saying they got Nova and New Warriors. Put Kamala in a new Young Avengers book.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll get involved in. I wonder if she'll get involved in Original Sin. We haven't heard anything about that tying into it, but
no.
I doubt that they would want to throw her into that, but then you never know. Maybe her origin story is got 2 more issues in it, I think. So it might.
Yeah, it has a 5-part story, so.
Right, so it might be perfectly timed to have her make an appearance in Original Sin, because that might boost her sales.
Yeah, I kind of doubt it though. I think that might have been a side note. As far as, because Original Sin sounds like it's going to be dealing with way more established characters. Particularly the, I guess you could say the founding characters, but more to the ones that have had some kind of history that could support it.
Right.
So, but you never know.
I'm gonna read from Dirt's list here. I'm gonna go ahead and get his click of the week out the way, which is Solar Man of the Atom #1 from Dynamite Comics.
I had that on my list. I didn't have a chance to read it.
Yeah, it's on my list too to get to. He said Dynamite's attempt to restart the Gold Key universe again has been a mixed bag. Luckily, Solar has turned out to be a fantastic new title in the Dyna Key universe. Frank J. Barbery's first issue plays on your expectations, not only of Solar, but of what a first issue does to introduce new characters as well. While Joe Bennett's artwork won't quite blow you away, though I'll admit he does some neat stuff in the final pages, it certainly won't take anything away from your enjoyment of the title.
Nice. Joe Bennett, I think, has been around for a while too.
Yeah, that name is familiar.
Like he did some fill-in Uncanny X-Men stuff way back in the day, if I'm not mistaken. I could be thinking of somebody else, but all right, cool. All right, what's next on the list? Roddy, what do you got?
Let's go ahead and do, and I think you've read this, Amazing X-Men #6.
Yes, we were just talking about it. Go ahead. What do you think?
Wait, where was I then? So I was talking to Tim before the show about this, and something towards something I said last week about Nightcrawler not being the focus on the book, and sounds like that this is the case, at least for this next arc. This sounds like because this deals with Nightcrawler's back now, and they're having a little get together for everybody at a bar, which starts out pretty cool, and then some unexpected visitors happen.
Multiple unexpected visitors.
Exactly. But it was cool the way that handled itself. So that was actually kind of touching. Also, it was like, we're all here now. So it was a nice moment right there. And then it gets to the story proper, where we see someone else from Nightcrawler's past come back. Which, if you know too much about his history and who was in the first arc, You kind of know
And who
who
was
that
on the
is.
cover.
And who's on the cover. There you
Right.
go. You know who's
I
this.
haven't read it, but I'm assuming from the cover.
Yep. So Mystique comes back, you know, seemingly to just to confirm whether what she saw was true, but she has an alternate reason, and once again goes back to the first arc. So if you read the first arc, and you know who that was dealing with, and you know Nightcrawler's history, you know what this ends up being.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it was a pretty good read.
I thought the art was a little touch and go for me.
Yeah, and a couple of places.
Yeah, I was kind of like, not impressed by it.
Yeah, but it was like, I don't know. It was, for me, it was more like, oh man, they could have left us the rest of the story to the side. Like the second part of the story, they could have just left that and just left it to the first part where everybody was getting together and stuff like that. But that's just me. You know, I realize that
you would have much rather had the entire story revolve around the party and all the drama.
Yeah.
In the party, right?
Yeah. Like that would have been cool, which I recognize that this was gonna probably play out at some point. So, and it was, like I said, it was the story. It's not like that second part of the story was bad or anything, but it was like,
Right.
oh man, I just wanted to see more of this party, and what was going on there.
Right.
But outside of that, it was, there was some good action in it.
It was nice to see Harry's Hideaway is still around.
Indeed.
All longtime X-Men readers will understand that one.
Right.
So there's one book that our loyal listener and viewer Dork Geekus is waiting for us to discuss tonight.
Go for it.
Ultimate FF #1.
Oh, I did read this. I'm sorry I didn't put it on my list. I think there was a reason why I put it on my list, because I didn't want to talk about it.
And Dirt also read it.
Oh, Lord. All right, let's get it over with.
Just on my opinion, the story has promise, but they've got to do something with the art.
I didn't even like the story, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, but yeah, the story wasn't great, but I like Fialkov's writing.
I was not happy with the story. The art was definitely off-putting. I definitely agree with that. It was distracting, and that's a bad
It's
thing.
more the biggest draw is the cast of characters they have together for this future foundation. Seeing how they all interact with one another. The threat was like some generic threat, which was kind of a problem. But yeah, the art's they gotta do something about that. Did you read it, Roddy?
Sorry, I was muted for a second. No, I didn't. I haven't really been reading any Ultimate stuff, so I'm kind of out of that camp. But I saw y'all talking about it on Twitter. I might check this out just for giggles, but
yeah, I don't know. So far, the new Ultimate universe is kind of just meh.
I mean, listen, I'm always going to be reading about Miles Morales. It's the other stuff that they're trying to build around him and trying to rebuild around some of the characters that have remained post-Galactus that, I'm not so happy with this Ultimate FF situation. Although I do like the fact that they're trying to put these characters into different situations. They're taking them almost all out of their comfort zones and putting them together and trying to make things work. So that I appreciate. I do appreciate that. But it's just been it was hard to read, to be perfectly honest. I think the art did have something to do with that.
Well, here are my questions. Does this have potential?
I think it does. I think it does, simply because of what I said earlier, which is it takes some of these characters far, far out of their comfort zones and what what they would normally be surrounded by, and puts them together. It's like, think about it. You've seen, who's on the cover, right?
Yes. Yeah, I do see the team.
Right. So even with just a passing familiarity with the Marvel universe, put those same four characters together, kind of drawing from the different parts of the Marvel U and stick them together and put them on a team. That's not in Avengers. You know what I mean?
Right.
And try to make them work together. It's interesting. It's definitely an interesting dynamic.
Okay. And does it look like the story at least could potentially work into something? I guess that's kind of the same. You kind of.
Possibly.
Hmm. Okay. Like that. Maybe I'll give it a shot just for giggles. Academic purposes, as you
That's
say,
right.
Agent 70.
That's right. I'm reading it for academic review purposes.
So.
That's right.
So what
Alright.
else we got?
Let's see what else Dirt read. He read Ultimate FF, I already said that. He read the Batman.
What do you think of the Batman? I don't know if I read his
If you
review.
were asked which Bat villain was his greatest nemesis, you would no doubt reply the Joker. And why wouldn't you? Scott Snyder wants to change your mind, and 0 Year seems to be the vehicle where the Riddler takes the mantle from the former Red Hood. Riddler has been Batman twice and now has all of Gotham under his control. So far, no one in Gotham has been a worthy mental adversary, and Batman, haunted by his failures, is afraid to take the challenge. 0 Year may be slow going and unfolding at his own pace, but Scott Snyder is building his own mythos, which should have an indelible print on Batman's legacy for generations to come.
So would it be safe to say that this would be the reason why now Batman doesn't lose?
I guess.
Because he's had all these victories supposedly previously and beaten by a, I guess, superior intellect, or if that is what it was.
I guess. It's just funny. I guess, you know what it is? The older readers, and I have to throw myself in there, we've gotten to the point in the cycle where everything old is trying to be made new again.
Right.
And seeing someone try to retell the Batman origin again, but try to make it more beefy and trying to establish some of these characters as opposed to saying, oh yeah, it's been done. It's issue number 62 of Detective Comics when it happened. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's interesting, but at the same time, part of me is just like, we've tread on this ground before. This is not new stuff, but it's yeah, it's for the new kids. That's what I keep thinking. I keep saying to myself, like, it's not for me. It's not for me. Just enjoy it for the execution.
Right. Cool.
All right. What else we got on the list?
Let me get this one out of the way. Okay. You wanna?
No, I was gonna say I've talked about all the ones I've actually read. So.
All right. So yeah, go ahead, Roddy, because I've got a few more books on my list that I can just throw out there.
All right. Cool. Let me just throw out Five Weapons number 8.
I wanted to get to this. How was it?
So it was a good read. Now, if you enjoyed the original miniseries, you will still get enjoyment out of this. I wasn't really sure whether this was going to be sustainable as an ongoing series, and I'm kind of still not. But they're hitting the familiar beats.
Mm.
So in that respect, and they're not even like it's a brand new story. One that that might not have fallen out from the well, I mean, it did fall out from the original series, and one that you could see happening. So it's not like they had to manufacture anything to get this one off. So it was good for that respect. But yeah, like I said, I am not sure how sustainable this is. That said, this was a good read, and if you have read it in the past and you have enjoyed it, this pretty much the art is the same as it was, and like I said, the story beats are similarly paced. Therefore, so this looks like it's gonna do what it needs to do. That's about all I can say for it, because there's nothing really outstanding that happens in this issue. But like I said, if you've read any of this book before, you'll read it and and you will like it if you like that. So.
And must say props to Jimmy Robinson for doing the art and writing.
Indeed, exactly.
All right, cool.
One of my favorite Image series. I'm kind of behind on it.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. So Tim, you're out of books?
Yes.
All right. So let me throw out a couple of quick clicks this week. Nova 16. I have not been reading Nova. The reason why I even decided to open up this book this week is because you know, some nostalgia. Beta Ray Bill is in it. I love Beta Ray Bill. He's awesome. It brings me back to the Simonson Thor days. And on the cover, they've got Nova holding up Stormbreaker.
Right.
You know, Beta Ray Bill's hammer, and you know that made me just want to open it to see what was going on inside. And basically, just in a quick recap, I guess Nova was manipulated into doing something that actually ended up helping. He was manipulated into helping someone who we thought needed help, and it was actually he was manipulated into doing an evil person's bidding, or kind of helping out an evil person do something evil. And you know, Beta Ray Bill gets involved. There's Corbinites involved. You know, his alien race, and you know, the story is okay. There's some, you know, repartee between, or there's some banter, let's put it that way, between Beta Ray Bill and the new Nova, whose name escapes me at this point. Anybody?
Sam Alexander.
That's right, Sam Alexander. That's right. Thank you very much.
No problem.
You know, his name escaped me for a second, but ultimately, you know, we're still dealing with, you know, the young hero learning the ropes, learning about his capabilities, the limits of his powers, but you know, with a little bit of a big brother influence from Beta Ray Bill. So you know, if you're a fan of this particular version of Nova, and how, you know, he's sort of learning the ropes and trying to pay his respects to the old Nova Corps, and still trying to learn about himself and his father, who was a black guardsman in the Nova Corps or something like that, or I forget, you know, like he was some sort of elite a member of an elite unit, if I recall correctly. Any of you guys remember that? He had like a subtly different uniform than the regular Nova Corps.
Oh yeah, the Black Novas, I think they were.
It was the Black Novas. Okay, I thought it was like the Black Guard, but you know, it's something like that. So anyway, if you know, I know Tim, you're a big fan of like the teen hero books.
Yeah, and even though it was written by the series was start off by being written by Jeff Loeb,
Right.
and it was, you know, he gets a bad rap for some of the stuff he's done with like the cartoons on Disney XD, but
Right.
the first arc on Nova was awesome.
Listen, if you thought, I don't know how far behind you are. What number is this? This is number 16.
I'm up to date.
Oh, you are up to date.
Yeah, I've been reading.
All right,
Nova
so I think this is definitely up your alley.
I just haven't read this issue yet.
Right, I think this is up your alley. All right, let me throw out another quick click. The Winter Soldier, The Bitter March, number 3. Obviously, I've got Winter Soldier on the brain because, you know, I've seen the new Cap movie twice. I always enjoy these espionage, spy thriller type books, and I think this one is being executed pretty well. You know, we see Rand Shen, the Iron Nail, while he's still an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., and he's on a mission to try to extract some former Nazi sympathizing scientists, and he's basically duking it out with the Winter Soldier to try to get them and try to reclaim them. So, or try to get them to kind of move over to their side. Let's put it that way. I liked it. I thought it was pretty well done. But like I said, I'm a sucker for these espionage comics. So that's that. And finally, my last quick click of the week is Thor: God of Thunder, number 21. And you guys all know I dig Jason Aaron's take on Thor. It's one of my favorite books every month. Esad Ribic is back on art, and his art kills it. Kills it. It's so fun to read. You know, this is one of the books that I had so much fun reading this week. You know, there's a couple of good bits in this. If either of you guys are even sort of caught up on Thor, I think all you have to do is read maybe the last issue before this one.
Mm-hmm.
And
you finally get to see the Minotaur.
Right. So, you know, there's you know, it's just a lot. This book is a lot of fun.
And they're still doing the 3 Thor story bits, and that's working.
More so more so future Thor and current Thor
Oh, okay.
in this arc, but there's definitely still some side by side storytelling going on.
Gotcha. Cool.
Seriously, Jason Aaron, like I can't wait to see this in either a collected edition or you know what I mean. That's
Yeah,
how this is going to read.
I need to get the God Butcher stuff in collected form too.
Yeah, because this stuff is going to read so well in collected form.
All right. Cool.
So is it click of the week time?
X-Men 13.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh wow, I just read this book before we started. Hey, you remember there's a baby called Shogo?
Shogo, yes.
Yeah.
I love that picture.
Yeah.
I love that
Are you
picture.
talking about the cover or?
Yes.
That's
from Avengers.
That
awesome. That brings back so many memories.
Yeah, the one I got it from a.
What is that from?
It's a cover
Avengers
of Avengers.
221. Yeah, so Avengers 221, where if you see who's on the cover, the funny thing about this is most of those people have been Avengers at one time or another, and or is, which at that time.
Well, listen, all these characters, except for Rom Space Knight.
Yeah, we probably didn't get that one.
It's what's funny about this image is that no one would have thought in any future in any possible future that any of these characters would be Avengers, and it turns out all of them have been.
Exactly.
It's
so that's the significance of this one.
Like, I'm gonna make all these people Avengers now.
Mm-hmm. Like this was like
Dazzler, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. exactly. So technically, that's at some point that could still happen.
Right.
But it's like pretty much everybody's on there has been or is an Avenger, and I always love that. I've always loved that particular issue anyway.
Yeah.
So, and being that this is the case now is pretty funny. But X-Men.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's quite good. X-Men 13. This one deals with well, actually, this one is going into a new storyline that's going to deal with the baby that Jubilee found.
The baby.
Yep. They're pretty much picking up the pieces from. Well, I say picking up pieces. It didn't end. This last storyline didn't end bad, but they're basically kind of licking their wounds over that, and having their little there are moments of, hey, maybe we should have done something different, or the team's this, and just kind of going over how the last thing ended, and that is pretty much the majority of this book. And then, but in the beginning of it, you start to see what's going to be a factor in the next storyline that is going to indeed deal with the baby. So it was a pretty good read.
Right.
And, it probably may be setting up. It is actually touching on probably some future storylines in one or two panels, but if you read last issue, then you would already know, that was already touched on. So, yeah.
Because the last issue ended the whole sisterhood stuff, right?
Right. For them.
I complained that it ended too.
It was too neat.
Yeah, too neat.
Yeah, and they touched on that, and it was like, because there was a panel between, like, there was a couple of panels with Storm and Psylocke talking. And they kind of talked about that, and Storm's having some thoughts about, about how the team is. Well, that's what they were basically talking about, and whether she should lead it or not. So that's not so much of a spoiler, because that's just a kind of a side thing. But some things happen at the school. A couple of things happen at the school that are at the time, unexplained, but will lead into the storyline proper.
All right. Like I said, I think I said this off the air. There's a bunch of X books out this week, and I just wasn't able to get to them. Uncanny was out this week. Wolverine and the X-Men was out this week. There's just so many of them.
Mm-hmm.
And Wolverine is out.
Oh, his solo book is out this week too.
Yeah, it's on a comic list. So gotta check that out.
Yeah, so I was thinking about something. We were talking about the Amazing X-Men and Nightcrawler, and then I didn't think about this last week, which I should have, because Wolverine's got a bunch of books. This is a side note, but Wolverine has a couple of books, has a few books. Let's not sugarcoat it. You know, and I was kind of thinking about it after that, and was like, maybe they're setting up, because that's why Nightcrawler has his own book, and he's kind of the focal point of Amazing X-Men. I'm just like, I wonder if they're just trying to set him up as, you know, not necessarily Wolverine, but someone who can probably, you know, have a couple of books with her. And like, I wouldn't be surprised if they did a team-up book, which may be probably what his solo book is going to be. I don't know, but I was kind of wondering if they were just setting him up in that respect, which is why he has a couple of books. Nobody in the past would have thought that he would have been able to carry more than one book, and the jury's still out. And we don't know how Amazing is going to really go after this act. You know, we know he's going to be a part. So.
Right. What's interesting about this is that it's not like, I hate to put it like this because, you know, Avengers is like kind of like the flagship franchise right now. But we all know, like, listen, I'm an Avengers fan, but I know which Avengers books I don't really need to read.
True.
You know, because I'm sort of interested in, like, the main book and the main teams, and I can sort of, even though Avengers World is kind of a tangential book or a secondary book, right now I'm still reading it, but it's not the same as, like, Secret Avengers or Avengers Assemble, which, you know, has already been canceled. But you know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah.
So, you know, in the X-Men world, I'm looking at all these various X-Men team books, and I'm like, all right, which ones do I really need to read? Because it used to be that if you wanted to get the core X-Men experience, you read Uncanny and you read Adjective List.
Right.
Right? And, you know, I go back when it was just regular old X-Men. Forget Adjective List. You know what I mean?
Indeed.
So, you know, if you wanted to get that experience, you read 2 books. Now I'm kind of torn because I like Nightcrawler, but I don't know if I want to keep reading Amazing.
Right, and that's kind of where I am with it. Like, pretty much the reason why I read that book and started reading Nightcrawler was because of that, you know? So, and who's to say how sustainable that's going to be in the long run? But, you know, for right now, just got to deal with it and enjoy
it's just
the
weird
ride
because,
so far.
right, it's weird because, like, X-Men is the chick team, the all-female team.
Which I love.
Right, and that's awesome. And then we've got Wolverine in the X-Men, which is like the school. And then we have Uncanny, which is Cyclops and his crew. And then we have, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what do you drop? What do you do? You need to read all 4 just to get the whole X-Men experience? You know, like the main X-Men team experience.
Well,
we're not even dealing with X-Force.
When they do crossovers, yeah, and X-Force
came out this week too, didn't it?
I think so.
X-Force?
X-Force came out this week too. Forgot about that.
So. There's a lot out this week, X stuff.
And like I said, X Factor's kind of off on its own thing.
Yeah, well, yeah. See, that's the thing. X Factor, everyone knows is off on its own thing. You know, because that's how Peter David.
And I like it.
Yeah,
and I like it. Should have been reading his stuff.
Yeah.
As the resident X-Menologist, but.
Well, listen, Tim is steeped in X-Men lore. So am I.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I am too, to a point.
So.
But yeah, so just wanted to bring that up. It was weird.
It's just weird that, like, you know. Well, go ahead.
I was saying weird but relevant.
Yeah. So we got anything else wanna
No, I think we're at Click of the Week point.
Yeah. For my Click of the Week, choosing from my 3 books, I'd probably go Miss Marvel, number 3.
That's not bad. That's not a bad call.
That'll be my next one to read. So
that is not a bad call. I definitely I'm with you on that. I understand. You know, I definitely see what you think. You know, see your thought process on that.
And as I said earlier, Dirt's Click of the Week is Solar Man of the Atom number 1.
All right. Let me throw mine out there. I had a bunch of books on my list this week to read. I liked a lot of them. I was disappointed in a few. Hello, Dan Slott's Superior Spider-Man 31. You know, and I was actually mildly disappointed in Batman number 32 just because I thought, you know, there would be more happening in it, but it's like I said, it was just another stepping stone in the story. So I think I'm gonna go, and you know, it's almost gotten corny now. I'm gonna go with Thor: God of Thunder number 21. You know,
I can see that.
Read this book. Read this book. I cannot say it enough. It's so much fun and it's so nice to look at.
Okay, cool. Well, I am going to give a nod to a book that I haven't read. I was about to say 2 books, but that's not going to happen. Harley Quinn has been a good read up until now, and I'm not saying that because I've read this book. Because I mean, I've been reading up to now and haven't read this particular issue, so don't take that as I'm saying the book is bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying check the book out. It's an interesting little side story for if you like Harley Quinn, or even if you don't. It's got the weirdest thing about that book is. And I don't even like Deadpool, but I'm drawing a couple of some similarities to it. She's not breaking the fourth wall, but it's just kind of that.
The psychopath, the sympathetic psychopath.
Yeah, a little craziness going on within the issue, and little things here and there that kind of make it interesting. But that said, my click of the week will probably be. I guess Amazing X-Men, just for the party stuff alone. Just for, that was.
I liked how it wrapped.
Right.
Like the last couple of pages, they were nice. I like that. It kind of brought back some warm fuzzy memories, nostalgic memories.
Yep. And if you can see my little overlay right now, you will see one such panel.
Cool. So that's everyone's clicks of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So another great show.
Yeah. There you go. I see it now. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I will say this. Touching back on some news, with the Eisner nominees, Comixology now is having a sale on some of those nominees. So if there's something you've seen in the nominees that might be in there on sale, like I think Geekus mentioned something about East of West last week. So
behind on that series.
Yeah. So go ahead and pick up some stuff. That's the sale is going to be until the 21st. So you got time to kind of peruse what they got and check out some books you may or may not have.
Oh wow, East of West is nominated. I had so much trouble reading that. I must be stupid,
No, I had to get someone to explain the stuff to me online too. I'm like, what is going on in East of West? I read it. I read it every month, and I had no clue what was going on. Besides something with the Four Horsemen.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's kind of one of those books, and I haven't read none of it, but it's kind of one of those books, as some of the others probably are that are nominated.
They nominated
kind of things.
Yeah, I was gonna say they nominated The Wake, and I dropped that after like 2 issues. Oh,
yeah, not everything's gonna touch on to everybody, so it's kind of one of those things that those are pretty much, I hate to say darlings, fan darlings, but I mean it's probably accurate because there are a lot of people talking about those books, and it doesn't really make you wrong for not, liking it. It's just a matter of it just didn't touch you, and that's gonna happen sometimes. So.
Yeah. Agreed. I'm just going through that. I finally pulled up the list of the nominees. So I'm just scrolling through.
Yeah.
Best reality-based work, Hip Hop Family Tree. There you go. Ed Piscor was shouting you out.
Yeah, and also I think he's I think he's got a writer one in there too. He's in a writer category.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm definitely gonna be checking out some of the books on that list of the Eisners. At least read an issue or two, see what the hubbub is about.
Yeah, sure. And some of them are already on the short list anyway. I don't know which. Yeah, well, talk about that later. I hate when I do that. Sorry, but that short listing I wanted to bring up at some other point, but that's just me trying to get some thoughts out. So. Go forth and read, people.
Yes. There's plenty of books out this week for you guys to read.
And make sure to follow us on our individual Twitter accounts. I'm at TimDOGG98, and of course at the KLIQ Nation. Dirt is at PCN_Dirt. Agent 70 is at Agent_70. And RoddyCat is at RoddyCat and at News Nerds Need.
And thank you for everybody who is following News Nerds Need, because it's slowly working its way into something. And my sporadic postings aside, I appreciate anybody who's kind of keeping up with that.
Nice.
Yes, sir. So with that, we want to thank you all for tuning in live or tuning into the audio format or video format of the podcast. Much appreciated. We will be back live next Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, to do more comic book news and comic book reviews. So we are the Comic Book Chronicles, and we are signing off.
Peace!
Peace.